Hi, Isabel Litzler, Pleiad HC, the place to be to develop your skills and grow your potential. So today I want to talk about becoming a freelancer in Switzerland. How do you go about that? What type of registration, etc. So the first thing is really to understand whether becoming a freelancer is right for you. And I do this via skills assessment. I have an ebook called My Career where you can have some exercises, find out your strength, do some online assessments, and you know a little bit more about yourself and what you like. Again, being a freelancer is very, very specific. And I find that some people might be better suited for the intrapreneurship, meaning that you can be inside a company and develop a business inside a company where you already have a product line or a structure. You have a little bit more of a stable environment. So the thing is, when you're a freelancer, usually you start with your own name, your own product. So just developing the brand part itself is huge at the beginning. So I just wanted to make that clear to individuals that the most difficult at the beginning, you're not going to work so much on developing anything. You need to start on the brand and really building the brand first. So again, that's why I'm saying sometimes it might be better to work under somebody else's name. So besides that, there's 3 different status in Switzerland if you want to go and become a freelancer, and they all have different specificities. So the first thing is really to have no status. I wanted to include that here, and probably people are surprised. But in the end, really, if you're someone who's starting out, and let's say you're selling an ebook or you're selling I don't know, dresses and shoes or whatever online, and you don't know yet what your ideal client wants or what the profile is, etc. You know, there's not going to be a lot of problems if you have a Facebook page and you're selling dresses, for example, at the beginning. So you need to understand a little bit first your client, and maybe you make a couple of sales and you see how it goes. Trust me, to get really a lot of clients is difficult at the beginning. So you can really easily start with no status, see how it goes. Maybe you meet someone and you say, hey, let's do something together, let's build our brand. And then you realize you go from, maybe at the beginning your ID changes a little bit. So that's why the status is not so important, in my view, when you get started. The second thing is to go with what I call the portal company. So let's say that you're also still in the process of testing your brand and your product, and you don't want to go full-fledged independent because you're not sure of yourself. And a lot of my clients are actually, I would call, beginner entrepreneur, in the sense that they're still kind of looking at the open market for a job, and they don't want to lose their benefits maybe. So the portal company lets you have your benefits. So you do get unemployment if you stop working. You're still participating in your retirement. So they give you a pay slip basically. So let's say you are an entrepreneur, a freelancer, you have a client, and this client pays you 10,000 Swiss francs. If you go with the portal company, they will issue a pay slip for you. They will make the deduction so that you're covered for your health, for your retirement. And they will also produce the invoice either under your name or under their name for the client, basically depending on which way you want to do it. So they're doing basically the office for you. So it could be a resource when you get started and you're not quite sure yet if you're going to go full-fledged or not. So portal company is how I started at the very beginning, because I wanted to have a status, and I didn't register immediately. I didn't have the 3 clients that you need, which leads me right into my third status that you can have in Switzerland. It's the independent consultant. So this is something that a lot of organizations are providing for you, and it's basically called the AVS, so it's the retirement benefits. So they register you. It costs between 300 to 500 to just be registered, and then they will issue some invoices for you, and they will ask for participation from you. So every 3 months you need to pay into your benefits basically from your earnings. So it's a little bit more where you're a little bit more autonomous there. So of course, this is something you can only do if you have your 3 clients at the beginning. So if you're working with individuals, this is where I'm going more into which areas of consideration to pick a status. I would say if you're working with individuals, so you're selling something online to individuals, or you're working with people and not so much companies, your status at the beginning doesn't have to be entirely formal, because especially if you're selling a small product, let's say that costs, 3 francs, 10 francs, if it's an ebook, for example, it's not going to be necessarily that you need to have a status. However, once you start targeting companies, then they will want you to have a registered status because they want to have proof that you're paying for your benefits. They can have problems also on their end if you're not registered. So with companies, it's better to have those free first clients, even if they're individuals first, and then you're actually registered to work for a company. So really, consideration is who do you sell to and what do you sell. So look at what your current idea is and who do you want to sell it to. Is it more companies or individuals? I could add a fourth type of status, which is a little bit around the other three, which is if you're an expat and you want to work for a company and you don't have those free clients, you can stay registered in another country. So it could be registered, I don't know, wherever you're coming from maybe. And you can just still get a client in Switzerland and they will still pay your fees. And then once you start having more clients in Switzerland, you will be considered for the independent status with the authorities. So that's a little bit of a going around it type of status. So if you have some questions, feel free to post below. Again, make sure that you ring the bell